there's a new branch of music therapy called neurologic music therapy, which focuses on actually the specific connections in the brain that occur to cause responses like walking and your gait and your balance and that sort of thing. And it's possible to use music to encourage those kinds of responses. So that's something else, like as I was saying before, if you want your loved one, you need your loved one to walk with you to the kitchen, and that's not something they're really feeling like doing right now, you might want to try pairing that with a song and taking them by the hand and encouraging it. And there's a lot that has to do with the tempo of the music and the music itself that prompts the walking. Exercising to music, that's a good one. And of course, playing soothing and relaxing music to reduce anxiety and agitation, that sort of thing. Singing, some people cringe when I talk about singing because, I hear all that, you can't carry a tune in a basket and all of that. But it's really not about the quality of your singing, okay? It's just that the singing itself is a way of communicating, right? And if your loved one is having difficulty communicating, it gets frustrating for them, right? I mean, you see that. They try to find that word and, they can't, or, the language piece just isn't connecting for them. So if you're singing with them, they're not having to focus on any of those cognitive or communication deficits. They're focusing instead on something that's pleasurable, and it comes very naturally to them. It's also a very secure and kind of inviting way just to be with your loved one, because it's stressful what you're experiencing every day, and stressful for them as well. So why not have something that's less stressful to do together that produces a response that you're going to really be very likely happy to see, and that's going to also boost your mood and your spirits. Certainly the reminiscing piece comes very much so with the music, and you might see really positive reactions, like this person singing along would be great, but also the humming, the vocalizing. You might see some nonverbal expressions of their feelings, moving to the music, recognizing the music, that sort of thing. It's all good. I want to tell you another story about someone that I worked with. This lovely lady, her name was Ginny, and Ginny was just this adorable, she about, no bigger than a minute, very spry in terms of her movement, 95-year-old. And I met Ginny living in a nursing facility, and she still was getting up every day, making walks around the courtyard of the facility. That was something she insisted on doing. She felt that really just energized her, and she had to take her walks, so she'd be out there with her walker, making the walk around. And when I would arrive for the music, in particular that first time, we decided to go to her room for the music therapy, and I think she confused me with the massage therapist, because she'd been receiving massage for some time. So she pushed her walker up to the bed, and she really had to jump up on the bed because it was pretty high for her. And I'll never forget, she tore off her wig. She just whipped it off and threw it over on the end table and laid down like she was preparing to have a massage, So, well, this is a comfortable position for her, so we'll go from here. So I set up my keyboard, and I asked her if there were any songs in particular that were meaningful for her that she wanted to hear. She couldn't think of any. And this is often the case. In fact, if someone asks me what my favorite song is right now, I'd probably be stupefied. So it really varies from moment to moment. So I get that response often. And what I usually tell people is, well, if I start to play something that you don't want to hear, or that is unpleasant to you, makes you feel something you don't want to be feeling right now, let me know and I'll stop. So I thought I'd start with something instrumental without words, just to kind of get a feel for where Ginny was at. And I started playing Fascination. Well, no sooner did I start to play Fascination than I see Ginny's eyes are welling up with tears. And so I quiet the keyboard, just not really playing that Fascination melody, but just playing along. And I asked her, I said, Ginny, is this something you want me to continue playing, or do you want me to stop? And she said, oh, don't stop, keep going. So I kept going, and when I finished, she sat up in bed and she said, those were happy tears. And you want to know why I had happy tears? I said, yes, I do, absolutely do. She said, because I just remembered my first husband's name. And I have been trying to think of my first husband's name for years and years. And she said, I haven't been able to remember his name, and he was a great husband. Yeah, it was so precious. And she was just thrilled to have that connection again. And then she remembered them dancing to that song, and she talked about him and their dancing. She actually said she remembered being in his arms dancing to that song. So, you know, talk about a powerful connection. So I wondered, the next time I visited Ginny, was she going to remember, have that same kind of response or not? And it was like we started all over. She didn't remember me. You know, of course, you know what this is like. She didn't remember me. She gave me the same response when I asked her if there was anything she wanted to hear, so I started with fascination again. Same exact response, second time. So we got into this pattern of starting every one of our visits together with fascination, and every time she would remember, and every time it would be a wonderful memory of her first husband.